Thank you very much. Hello, everybody from my side as well. My name is Lea Peschitz. I'm a co-lead of the AI and Digital Transformation Living Lab that is a part of the Arcos European Alliance. And I'm situated at the University of Graz. This is where I work. And Graz is one of the 9 partner universities within the Alliance. I'm very happy that you're all here today and a part of our Journey through Artificial Intelligence lecture series, which we've developed with the aim of explaining AI to the general public. So demystifying some of the complex elements, theories, concepts that are surrounding AI at the moment. And therefore, this lecture series is designed specifically for a non-expert audience to break down some complex AI concepts and make them accessible to everyone. And in terms of this accessibility, like you've already seen, we also record these sessions and they're later posted on our Arcos website as well as on YouTube so that they kind of remain permanently as a source, as a learning source in a way. I'm happy to welcome you today to our AI and Cybersecurity lecture by Mohamed-Lamine Messai, who is an associate professor at Lumière University Lyon 2 and a member of the SID research team at the ERIC laboratory at the University of Lyon 1 and Lyon 2. He holds a PhD in computer science and conducts research in cybersecurity, focusing on secure data collection, key management in resource-constrained networks like IoT, and graph-based data analytics for threat detection. So without much further ado, you can begin the lecture when you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. So I am Mohamed-Lamine Messai, Associate Professor at ERIC Laboratory. So thank you for the organization and thank you for the invitation. So I'm happy today to share some information knowledge in this Arcos webinar on topic that is becoming increasingly central today about cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. So for the presentation, I will go through 3 points. So the first one, why cybersecurity awareness is more critical now than ever. And the second one, what is the role of AI? And as both a powerful defense mechanisms and as a tool in the hand of attackers. And finally, I will see some demonstrations on AI powered to do Wi-Fi attacks and how to do a phishing also with AI assistant tool. So let's begin by understanding why cybersecurity should be matter to all of us today. So let's start with this image that present the top 10 emerging risks. So we can see that after the global warming, after the climate change, we have the cybersecurity aspect risk. So we live in a time of global escalation in cybersecurity. You know all the geopolitical situation now in the world. So both in scale and sophistication of this kind of cyber attacks. So now no one is immune, if we can say that. So attackers can run some kind of attacks in all things that are connected to the internet. So business are a target, government, universities, individuals, and all users that are connected to the internet are a potential target. So these attacks are not just technical, they are increasingly hybrid with which combining human strategies and with AI-powered automation in to cause maximum damage. So the cybersecurity is now important, and with increasing cyber attacks, as I said, everything has a target. So we have to to design a world that is smarter. We have to connect more things to the internet. We talk about smart cities, autonomous vehicles, UAV, such as drone and etc. All these objects are connected to the internet, but this concept that can be called the Internet of Everything. But without cybersecurity, we can do these connections of everything, and maybe we have the Internet of vulnerabilities. Okay, so it's very important aspect of the cybersecurity in our daily lives. Other aspect is that now we have some kind of hybrid threats. We have human and AI that can help in the 2 points as defense or in the hand of attackers to enhance attacks. So cybersecurity now is no longer just the concern of IT professionals. So it's shared responsibilities, and that's why rising awareness is unavoidable. When talking about AI and cybersecurity, it's important to distinguish 2 perspectives. So we can use AI to enhance cybersecurity, so to detect and respond automatically, maybe to threats, attacks, misbehaviors, etc. And also we can talk about securing AI systems themselves, okay? So by protecting the AI models in the phase of training to avoid some poisoning attacks, etc. So in this talk, it's not a very technical talk, but I will talk more than how to use AI to enhance cybersecurity, okay? And not on the process of the security of AI model constructions and so on. So it's more, the talk is about using AI to enhance cybersecurity. So how to detect threat earlier, response faster, how to automate defense, etc. Another important aspect, in my opinion, is before 10 years ago, to do an attack, we have to be expert in some aspect in computer science. We have some knowledge on how networks works, how the OSI model is designed. We have to have aspects on or a knowledge on cybersecurity or IT security, information security, cryptography maybe, and a lot of things to do an attack. But with open source tools and automated scripts and AI assistance, attackers no longer need advanced expertise. Okay, so for example, this is a Cisco images that before sophistication of attacks tools are in low level, and we have to have more technical knowledge. However, today, it's not necessary to have a lot of background on cybersecurity or on computer security in general to do a sophisticated attack. So we have a large number of tools that can be used easily. And I will show that in the demo. So what used to require a team of skilled hacker can now be done by maybe less resources with the internet connection and chatbot maybe, or maybe to ask some AI, generative AI to have the answer. Let's go back to define the objective of cybersecurity and also what is AI. So the 2 principal terms of the talk. So the cybersecurity is or aims to protect information systems from thieves, damage, and all things that can disturb the good functionality. So this includes data, infrastructure, applications, and even of the trust of users, okay? And within that, there is a fundamental model that guides cybersecurity policies that are with what we call the CAI triad, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So confidentiality, this is a fundamental aspect that ensure that information is accessible only on those authorized to have access. So principally, we use some kind of cryptographic algorithms, key management, etc., to ensure that the information is only accessible to those authorized parties. The other aspect or the second goal is integrity. So this aspect guaranteeing the accuracy and reliability of data, that it has not been altered or tampered with. So when you send some information, you have to be sure that the information does not be changed when transferring or when routed to the destination. And the third aspect or the third goal is availability, which making sure that authorized users have access to the information and systems when needed. So this aspect avoids some kind of denial of services, etc. So this is about cybersecurity definition. And now, what is AI? So as a simple explanation, so we can see that before we have AI for a long time ago. So, but we don't have such resources and computers that are not very developed. But now we have a large capacity of computation and large data also. And we can do neural networks, for example, and to have more and more performance on accuracy, for example, when detecting, even in cybersecurity in other domains. So artificial intelligence refers to systems that can learn, decide, and adapt. So in cybersecurity context, this often means detecting patterns in massive data logs, for example, or predicting potential breaches before they happen. And the two types of AI, in my opinion now, are especially relevant. So we have narrow AI, like we have a model that detects spams. Okay, so there is some organization that use tools to detect email spam and scam, or antivirus engines. So this is narrow AI, and currently we all use generative AI. Like ChatGPT, deepfake, or DeepSeek, and deepfake generators also, which can both protect and endanger us. Okay, so this is globally what is AI today, and a more general explanation. In general, we have this unified, if I can see, unified pipeline. So we have a lot of data represented here with the raw data in this image, and we have to train some algorithms in that data. So we have different kind of different family. We have three families of AI, so supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning, if I can summarize this domain. And we have to train some algorithms on data, and then if it's supervised process, we have to label the data before and then train a model. algorithms that learn about this data, learn on this data, and then we construct a model. After that, after training the model, we have to test such metrics like accuracy to decide if the model is good or not. And if it's good, we can deploy this model in the organizations to do the job. Okay. This is the global explanation. And now how we can use AI as a cyber defense ally. So we can imagine that AI can be used in different aspects. So for example, to enhance threat detection and analysis, to detect vulnerability, to manage the vulnerability, to predict which kind of vulnerability we can have or we will have in the future, to detect phishing emails, scam detection, malware detection and prevention, user behavior and analytics. It's a very important aspect also to detect attacks or compromised nodes, to enhance cybersecurity risks assessment, or to automate the incident response. So all these aspects can be concerned by the use of AI in such aspect. So let's look on some examples or how AI is already being used. For example, for the threat and vulnerability detections, few days ago, there is a new distribution of Kali Linux with ChatGPT integrated. So this tool combines a specialized operating system in cybersecurity with a generative AI, which is ChatGPT. So this can guide even beginners through complex testing steps. And for professionals, this reduces research time significantly. So for example, we can use this for the pen testing. When there is some bugs on the application that we test, we can use ChatGPT or an AI assistant for penetration testing, which is fine-tuned on this aspect. So we have a model or AI-assisted chatbot that can help us in the step of doing the pen testing, which is very useful for beginners that don't have expertise before on this domain. And also it can be helpful for professionals that this reduce research time and enhance productivity. So this is the first example where we can use the AI-assisted job in detecting, for example, detecting the vulnerability in pen testing operation. It concerns the web applications. Okay. The second aspect that we can find, for example, for phishing detection. So AI models analyze sender information, test patterns, and suspicious links using natural language processing. So this makes identifying phishing emails much more efficient. So the phishing is a cyber attack where criminals impersonate legitimate entities to steal sensitive data. So we all receive phishing emails or smishing as SMS, for example, and we are invited to click on the link and pulling or giving some sensitive informations, or even not phishing, there is some kind of scams by using emails. So this email scams are the fraudulent email designed to trick user into revealing password, credit card details, downloading malwares, etc. So by using machine learning or AI in general and NLP to identify phishing attempts by analyzing the sender, the contents by the NLP, the links in the core of the emails, attachment, etc., we can avoid that this kind of emails arrive on the mailbox of the users in an organization, for example. Another important aspect or another example to use AI is that we can use it to user behavior analytics. So this is a very important aspect, and I supervise some students in organizations that work on that. So we have some kinds of tools that supervise users. So there is a baseline of what normal activities look like for each user. And when it detects something unusual, like, for example, accessing file at 3 a.m., for example, from a new location, or it can be suspect. So it can flag it immediately and generate an alert and maybe don't give in access at that users before doing some controls. So this is a very important aspect also, even if we have some machine or some servers that are important and the access on this server is what we call a very high account, a very high important account. So this kind of account can be supervised by machine learning to detect deviation that might indicate an account compromise. So if we add AI, maybe we have more smarter phishing detection and more behavior control. Another example, so when we use AI for security risk assessment, so the process is in risk assessment, this process is to identify, analyzing, and evaluating potential security threats and attacks on an organization assets in general. And for example, there is there is a bank or a financial institutions networks that show usual activity. So maybe the performance is the networks is low, not like the normal days. So here we can use machine learning to analyze logs for anomaly detection, to correlate data, to recommend actions, etc. So we can maybe do some kind of GNN, so some kind of algorithms on, for example, graphs. So we can imagine that the organization is a graph, or the network of the organization is a graph. And then we can collect all logs and then see how data are correlated, because the attacker, when she or he do an attack, so it's a sequence of steps. So there is a recognition or a phase where to detect a target, to recognize which node or which machine that he or she attacks. So there is a sequence of steps to do the attack. So we can use the machine learning here to analyze logs, to model maybe some the network's activities as a graph, and then to do some algorithms or some graph neural networks on this graphs that represent the data of the organization, and then detect if there is some links that are compromised, or some nodes that are compromised, or a set of nodes that are compromised, etc. So the AI in the risk assessment analyze systems logs, correlate data, etc. Let's now maybe present the two demos. So the first one consists of the Wi-Fi attacks. So all what you need to do these attacks is a machine, a virtual machine that can be Kali Linux, and also this kind of antenna. So why it's easy to do this kind of attacks? This antenna is not very expensive. Okay, so the price is around 70 euros. I have one here that I can show it. It's the same like in the presentation. I don't know if you see the antenna, the physical antenna. So this one is connected to my machine, and it's connected to a virtual machine here. So this is the virtual machine where the antenna is connected. Okay. So after that, I can use some tools that are available in Kali Linux to first scan all access points around in this antenna. Okay, so the tools is called Wi-Fi. So there is a screen like this that will be displayed. Have to be sure that the antenna is connected to the virtual machine. So we can see it, it's here. This kind of cards is support monitoring mode. So the Wi-Fi card that we have in our machine, in our PC, it only receive and send information. They do not have capability to scan the other access point and to sniff the network packet. So here, for example, I'm running these tools, and we can see that I have different kind of access point here. Okay, so EduROM, this is a university access point, NDK, maybe there is someone on that have the access point on its laptop, on maybe or its smartphone, etc. So there is a set of access point that I can scan and I can sniff the network activity. After that, now we have some target. We can begin attacks. But before, what is AI here, for example, that I can choose in a target, and then I will ask a generative AI, for example, ChatGPT, to know which device has the address MAC, for example, this one. Okay, so I can choose a target here, and then use its MAC address. So the MAC address is a sequence that identify the device. So it's unique in a network. We cannot have local networks with two MAC address. And then when I ask the ChatGPT, for example, what type of device of the following MAC, this MAC, this number. So here, for example, I have a set of target. I choose 9 for example, here, Wi-Fi networks of EMA. So I have to choose 9 here. Then I will use the MAC address to enhance my attack. But before, I will ask ChatGPT, for example, to say what kind of device is it. So I ask ChatGPT what type of device the following MAC address is. And the MAC address, I have the answer here, that is an Apple device. So now I can use, or the attack can be more refined by focusing on Apple device. So now I can follow all the vulnerability detected on the Apple device, and I can try some kind of attacks in this specific kind of Apple. So this present that doing some attacks is not very hard to do. So I have to buy a dedicated antenna, a virtual machine, and then I can start to detect access point, sniff the traffic in the networks, doing some attacks that can disturb the network, the network activity. So this is for the first demo that I prepared. So for the Wi-Fi attacks, and let's move to the second one, which is how to do a phishing attacks assisted by generative AI. So for example, here, I ask DeepSeek to write a phishing email. So first, this is in French, but I will translate. So he told me that it's not legal to have ethically this kind of emails. And when I tell the DeepSeek that it's just for an exercise, so he write me model of phishing emails. So here we can see, dear colleague, this is update security for your professional account on University of Lyon 2, etc. So this is for DeepSeek. So we can use it to generate models, specific models on phishing attacks. I do the same thing on ChatGPT to write a phishing email. So I ask ChatGPT to write me an example of phishing emails for Yahoo, for example. And I precise that it's for an exercise, but this is for the ethical use. So we have DeepSeek and ChatGPT, but we have some version of ChatGPT that are dedicated for attackers, for example. The version is called Devil ChatGPT. So here, he asked me that I can help you to understand how phishing works, but never use for real use in practice. So he generates me this kind of phishing emails. So now I have the model, and I have to find a tool to do the phishing. So in this VM, this virtual machine, so I will use a tool that called Z Phishers. This one. So now I'm mentioning this one. So Z-Fisher is a tool, but there is other kind of tools that we can use. So here, for example, in Kali Linux, we have a set of tools on password attack, wireless attack, database assessment, web application analysis, and somewhere we have social engineering tool, and we have SET, for example, which is very used and integrated. But in the case of the demo, I will use another tools that called Z-Fisher. So here, the Z-Fisher tools ask me to select an attack for your victim. So what do you need? The clone of the web page, what can be Facebook, Instagram, Google, etc. So I will give the choice when is Yahoo, for example, it's the 25, okay? And now he asked me if it's for a local host, so the website, the Mimic website is on the local host or in, so this is the first case. The second and the third case is that this web page will be deployed in a remote server. Okay, so we have here two servers, ngrog.io and Cloud Flooded, which is in U. So the tools also evolves because the users give this when we have a phishing email. So there is some mechanisms that the server that include a Mimic web page will be banned to the use. So this is why the servers evolve in the cloud. Okay, so I will use the local host in my case here, and I have to check this address. Okay, so I have to open a browser, Firefox, and to go to the local host. And this local host is now the same web image that we can find on Yahoo, okay? So I have to put the link in this email, okay? This email here, verify my account. I have to put the link that I generate from this tool and wait that there is some users that will click on this and give here her or his credential, login and password. For example, here, I give an example, Toto, for example, and the password is Azerty. And when I click next, so the machine is not connected, but here I have the tool collects the account, the login name, and the password, which was Azerty. So users that click and put their credential, automatically I will have this account, username, and password. So I have to do this, send these emails to a broadcast emails or an ALIA, for example, and wait that some users click on this link here and try to change your or their password and username, and I collect this. After that, I have to connect to their mail and then change the password, and after that, the users will do not have access to it, its or his or her mail address. So this is for the how to do phishing and how to be assisted with generative AI for the second demo. And now let's conclude. So the artificial intelligence can be seen as a shield in defense and also as a sword, because we can do some attacks assisted by AI. So advancements in AI have significantly strengthened the ability to detect, prevent, and respond to complex cyber threats. enhancing overall security resilience. But in the other hand, cybersecurity in AI have significantly lowered the barriers to executing sophisticated attacks. This is the conclusion. And maybe the important point is to keep learning. So the threat landscape evolves daily. And I think that a collaboration between tech, policy, and education is essential to have good resilience in what we will have in the near future, maybe. I think that's all. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope the sessions help you better to understand maybe some notions and how we can do some kind of attacks like Wi-Fi attacks or phishing attacks. I now welcome maybe questions, remarks. There are some questions.
There's nothing in the chat, but if you have question, you can just open your mic. I guess it's going to be quicker and easier for everyone. So feel free, go ahead. So we've got a question in the chat.
In the chat, where is it? As I'm sharing my
okay.
Not yet.
So the question is, are there already specialized AI in cybersecurity? So if the people who ask the question want to elaborate a bit more, feel free to do so.
Yes, it should be better, but it's a very generic question. Is there more details?
Nope. The question is obviously about AI dedicated to detect phishing and stuff like that. Does it exist? I'm just trying to translate things I don't understand, just to be clear. so definitely, if you have questions, just ask them yourselves. But otherwise, I'm trying to.
Yes, there is some tools that that detect phishing attacks. If the question is about this, so we can use some kind of NLP models to see, for example, how the email is written and is there some coherence between or correlation between the sender, the email, and the link. If we have already received some emails from the sender, etc. So based on all this and other informations, a lot of features, we can learn to a model to detect phishing. So maybe we have a data set of phishing emails, and I have to learn to my algorithms to detect this kind of emails. But there is already some phishing emails that we cannot detect. So there is no accuracy, I think, in this domain when detecting phishings that are in 100%. So already we have some phishings that we cannot detect, but we have already some tools that detect phishings, yes.
Yeah, maybe not a question, but rather a comment from me that I think it's really interesting and I guess in a way funny how we're emphasizing the ethical, responsible, both development and use of AI. But then when you ask it to write a phishing email, first says no, but there's clearly loopholes on how to get around it. It's like, oh, it's an exercise, then it's okay. So I just
Yeah,
think, yeah, it kind of shows this duality of it too.
to do an exercise on phishing, for example, there is some organization or startups now that do that, but we have to, before we have to prepare the organization for that. We cannot do this for the exercise. We don't have authorization to do that. So organizations do that maybe for sensibility and cybersecurity awareness, or their partners or their employees. But we cannot do this about the without have the authorization on that. Okay, so the ethical aspect is very important here. And when I give some more technical, maybe use case in my courses to students, just after the titles, I said it's only for training, and we don't have to do this on your home, for example, because we do with this this exercise or this antenna, we do more things. So we can do a jamming to disturb the activity of the access point. We can do a brute force attack to detect the password, and it can be harmful to do that in the real world.
Yeah, and just to add on, the University of Graz had a huge cyber attack, I think a year and a half or 2 years ago, where
Yeah,
none of our systems worked for 2 days. So nothing was accessible. All documents, emails, nothing. And then they eventually got it back.
and it was a cyber attack.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
But since then we have more security measures in place. So
I
yeah.
guess, of course, yeah. But for example, for jamming attack, if we have some kind of antenna and we do a jamming attack, so we can I can tell to this antenna to send just like that, and the aim is just to disturb the Wi-Fi. This kind of attacks, I think we cannot avoid this because we have a jamming region, and all communication in this region are can be affected by this this kind of attack.
I have a question, Mohamed.
Yes, Ahmed, please.
In the future, AI can be an asset and also a risk for cybersecurity. In your opinion, how can cybersecurity evolve to benefit from advances in IA, and while protecting itself from cyber attacks?
Yes, this is a very important aspect. So, as I said, we have to distinguish maybe two things. So here, AI enabler cybersecurity and vice versa, if I can do that. So we have to maybe perform more, maybe to have more data set, for example. For example, when we do, I have project on using graph neural networks on to detect some kind of special specific attacks that we call APT, Advanced Persistent Threat. And this kind of attacks is very, very dangerous. So the attacker, when he has an access on the system, he have to be discreet, if I can use this is the right word, I don't know, but there is a backdoor that is maintained for a long time for the attacker. And this kind of attack is very dangerous, and we don't have a lot of data set on that. So maybe one aspect for the future on supervised machine learning in the domain of cybersecurity, that we have some kind of general data set that we can, with different kind of attacks and features that can be used to train models and to have more efficient models. And in the other hands, in the process, when we use the training, for example, we have to be sure that this data set, we can trust it. Because if we train our algorithms on data set that contains some data that is not of good quality or not true data, we can have some biases in the model. So it's very important to have this aspect, I think, for the future of cybersecurity in AI and the security of the process of the AI themselves.
Yes, but hackers will also train models to carry out more advanced attacks.
Yes, we can see that this is adversarial AI. So attackers can use machine learning to do more sophisticated attacks.
Yes, of course.
And this is the game of the attackers and experts of cybersecurity that do defense.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ahmed. Is there any other question?
The chat, in the continuity of of the previous question, we have a question about legal aspect and a potential impact on what you said before of a European regulation on AI called NIS2. I have no idea what it is.
NSI2, don't know what does it mean, but I know in the European Parliament there is some laws concerning AI and cybersecurity, and I am in the TPC of a committee, ICM, that suggests some, not laws, but some technology barriers that we can define to the political to see more the impact of the use of AI in cybersecurity and how to secure the AI process when we construct model to detect anomalies, to detect attacks, etc. So, but I don't know what does it mean in this abbreviation and IC2 or S2. I don't have access on chat also. Maybe I have to try. Yes, now I have access to the chat.
And you've got a direct link.
Yes,
about
there is a link.
This regulation.
I clicked on that. Yeah, this is maybe very specific to France, because I see that here there is a word of Vincent Strubel, which is the director of the Information Systems Security Agency here in France. So it's a directive. I don't know how to translate this in English. So some kind of maybe this is some kind of how to do some things in cybersecurity, but I'm not aware of all this. This point is on this NIS2 method or points. Okay, so sorry for that, but
let's say that legal aspects could be materials for future discussion or future talk.
Yeah.
And obviously that's something pretty important for people working in cybersecurity.
I have get a look. I will get a look.
Is there any other question from the audience? Otherwise, I think it's time to thank Mohamed-Lamine and to wrap up. Leah, is that your, let's say, your job to do so, or do you want me to wrap up?
I can also wrap it up. Thank you again, Mohammed. It was a really informative lecture, and thank you to everybody for participating and for asking some questions. Tomorrow we also have 2 lectures at the University of Padua. They're both online, and I can send you the participation links in case you have time to attend them tomorrow. Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
hopefully see you again soon.
Thanks
Thank you,
again for
Mohammed.
the invitation. Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.